What do you make of this really public, really ugly falling out?
I'm not surprised. I think that anyone who's been paying attention would probably say the same thing to you. Maybe MAGA is surprised by this, but I mean, you have two rich men who are, in my opinion, incredibly narcissistic and have big egos. So, of course, they were going to bump heads at some point. We also knew that coming out of the White House, there was tension there, especially with Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. So, this comes as no surprise to me. Is it maybe a little more dramatic than I was expecting? I mean, yes and no. It is Elon Musk, so we know he has quite a volatile personality. But yeah, yesterday was a very interesting day on Twitter X, and I'm sure it'll continue to be these next few weeks.
So let's talk about some of those posts because it went from talking about policy to getting into a really ugly place because Elon Musk, he hasn't fully been in lockstep with President Trump during the past couple of months. He said he didn't really like the tariffs. Then he said he didn't like the big, beautiful bill last week. He was annoyed that it would raise up the deficit. But then he really ratcheted up those criticisms. He said that Americans should call their lawmakers to make sure that this bill doesn't pass. He reposted posts calling Trump to be impeached. He said tariffs would cause a recession. And most personally, he said Elon Musk said that President Trump was named in the Epstein files. I mean, what do you make of just that bloodbath on Twitter/X?
Wild. Wild is the first word that comes to mind. And even the fact that the president himself had to post, I guess it was a Truth Social, where he said, oh, I'm not surprised that Elon has come after me. And then it was the official White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, had to post that as an official statement from the president himself. I mean, listen, is it funny to see what's going on social media? Yes. Is it grab your popcorn time? Absolutely. But also, it's an utter embarrassment to the United States of America. Everyone is watching us at all times, but something like this, our adversaries are paying attention. This is really, really not okay. I wish that we had a president in office who was more mature and didn't succumb to these sort of childish endeavors and slinging insults. And the same thing with Elon Musk. Richest man in the world doesn't mean that you have the composure in order to be professional in this sort of manner, in this manner. And so I'm unsurprised. I think it's incredibly interesting, the things he said, especially with the Epstein files, the impeachment stuff. When I saw that one specifically, I was like, whoa, coming from someone who just a couple weeks ago who was buddies and the first buddy, along with his son, just running around the White House. So this is unprecedented times, but that's sort of been what the times have been like under President Trump.
And someone who donated $250 million to make sure President Trump got reelected, which he said he called President Trump essentially ungrateful. He said he didn't have any gratitude for that. He said that without him, President Trump wouldn't win. I mean, what do you make of that specifically when he's bringing up the money involved and he's saying, you know what, I'm hurt, I spent this amount of money.
I mean, I would say I agree with Elon. He put hundreds of millions of dollars to support President Trump's campaign. Granted, we were in not the best place in the economy under President Biden, and it was going to be a continuation of that probably under Vice President Harris if she had won the nomination. So who knows what would have happened if Elon hadn't gotten involved. But it's really hard to say that someone who put hundreds of millions of dollars in a campaign didn't make any difference. Of course he did. And I think, we saw even as a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when he was asked in some other interview whether he'd continue to get involved in politics, he said probably not. And so I think he got a taste of what it's like, didn't like it, thought he would be welcomed with a warmer embrace and open arms. And a lot of people have sort of turned their back on Elon. And I don't think someone as accomplished as he is when it comes to innovation and technology, especially, appreciates that. So I think he's over it, and I think he's going to continue lighting it all on fire.